I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pregaming here on Sports Money, Monday to Friday. We don't stop, we won't stop, we can't stop. Gotta get it going, keep it going, and get this money. I need some money. We got to get some cash here. This month is 6 days deep already. Sooner than later, we're going to be talking about March Madness and the Masters, and then baseball's here. So let's get this money while we can tonight. A big card. Man, I was tempted to add a couple more spots. I'll tell you what, there will be a couple of premium spots that are sent out for the late night slate. I believe some of these lines are going to move, and I want to make sure we get the best numbers. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. We're going to stay patient. We're going to be patient. Then we're going to fire. We're going to fire away. And fire away tonight we will. What a big night. We got a huge live stream tonight. The TNT game. It's the second end. The second end, we got the Warriors and the Lakers. What a bunch of fun. Hopefully we get Luka in the lineup. That would be outstanding. It'd be fun to see this break. I think they should. They should. I haven't heard he's not. No, fuck. He's out. It looks like his estimated return date, so start date should be February 8th, I guess. And we got everybody rolling except for Jimmy Butler. He'll be starting on February 8th. I don't know if you guys saw that video. The Miami Heat players were talking to the guys. One of the fans in the seats was giving the updated news to the players on the court that Jimmy Butler got traded. And the players turned around and they're like, really? So they were talking back and forth with this guy. And it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny to see. Yeah, I see that. Boys. So it was interesting to see. And then the one girl was like, you got to show it to me. And so he sold this phone around, and that's a way to find out about a trade. Why not? Lots going on. You guys know the deal in the world of sports money here. First strike. I don't know what happened last night. They got put out there this morning. So get out there and check it out if you would kindly. Give it a listen. Listen. Give it a listen. If you got shit going on, just 2x speed that thing. Get it all the way through, but don't close it until it's done. Hit the thumbs up button. If I could coach you guys on helping us with following those videos, that's super important. It's a shorty. Got some sick guys, some tired guys. There was a lot going on there, but we've got 4 plays for you. And I believe they're all plus money again. So we'll see if I can roll 3 in a row. See if I already know I'm going head-to-head with Nasty Nate. I'm sure I'll be going head-to-head with Sub. Because he's always head-to-head with me in those plays. So we'll see. But it's going to be a fun card for the UFC. That'll be a nice little Saturday night before we get to the Super Bowl. Don't forget, polls galore out there on the community tab. We'll get one more set out there today. I'll get 4 more out there for the Eagles side of things here. And we'll have ourselves a nice little show tomorrow to go through player props, sides, totals, best bets for the Super Bowl. I've got a same game parlay. I know Ramon's put some content together for us as well for the Super Bowl show. We're going to go through. We're going to do a little poll action for it's 25 questions. Some of them are probably pretty straightforward. And then winner gets $9,000. So if we can pick up, it's a $10,000 prize pool. If we can pick up $9,000, we will have all kinds of giveaways. And of course, you guys, still time. Upgrade those memberships. If you become a silver or a gold member, we will give you a Super Bowl square. That will be your access to merch. There's still a couple spots available, so please take the time to do that. You don't want to miss out. Put out a premium play earlier this afternoon, I guess, for some college basketball that is underway right now. So we'll see how that pans out. see what's going on there in the world of those premium spots out there. Plenty of time to jump in. Plenty of time to jump in. In fact, the jump in price right now, live betting is 151.5 in that Charleston, North Carolina A&T. 152, 153.5. There you go. 153.5. To get in there, take some shots here. Lots of injuries sickness and injuries between NCAA and Charleston. So there you go, 156.5. Hey, if you liked it at 151.5, yeah, I'll go in there and hit it again. I got 150. I think I got 150.5. So I'm going to go in there and take this 156.5 again to kick the show off. Speaking of kicking it off, we've got ourselves a bunch of action across the sports spectrum tonight. We've got Vegas and New Jersey, Utah and Columbus, Carolina, Minnesota, and Vancouver, San Jose in the NHL. Did I add any place? Did I add any hockey place? I don't think so. Nope. That's good. That'll bring us to close there. Then we're going to roll into college hoops. Did us dirty last night. Swept the NBA, reverse swept college hoops, and then kind of split the NHL side of things. So, not really split it, actually. We got the plus 1.5. Man, we saw the Kings game pop off, minus 1.5. They got to that damn 6 again. I think the Kings under 5.5 are going to be dead to me, at least until further notice. Anyhow, we're going to cover Maryland and Ohio State, a little revenge battle there. We've got La Tech, Liberty, going to be popping off there later on this evening in college hoops. Then we'll go with a 3-pack in the association. We've got Houston in Minnesota. We've got Sacramento in Portland, and we've got the Pacers and the Clippers. Like I said, there's 2 more spots that I want to get involved with on the NBA, but I believe these lines are going to move. So we will wait and we will stalk it like the Predators that we are. No pun to the Nashville Predators, that is. So I hope everyone's doing well. I was going to mention, and I'll mention it again tonight. I forgot this yesterday. Remember we did the old grand salami mathematical equation? Sports money, science? You guys remember. Do you remember what the total was based on the equation? Now, we knew it cashed the under. The total was 83.5. We had 77.5. And they got what? 76 goals? Pretty good. Pretty darn close. In fact, I got a whole bunch of tricks up my sleeve for some carnival games that you guys don't even want to know about. But that being said, you want to count the jelly beans in a jar? I'll show you how to do that too. But point is, tonight, the salami is back in play. A lot of 5.5s. The number, I believe, is 53.5. Let me double check. What's going on with this salami number? What number did I get? Let's see what I got, and then let's see what it's at. 53. A little juicy to the under. Minus 120 on the 53. Now, here's the moment of truth. Let's pop this thing open and see what the line's at. Still 53 at minus 120. So the number was 40. I think it's 47.5, if I'm not mistaken. 47.5 is the number. We've got a 53. That means we'll look to the under. Figures. Away goals, minus 245 is the spot. Away goals, minus 245 is the spot. So we'll see. They're certainly saying that the favorites should go out there and bust them up. We'll have to keep that in mind for the evening as we get to those later spots as well. Okay. Pretty dialed in. That was pretty tight. 77.5. We get 76. Lots of fun in the NHL tonight. I think there's going to be plenty of spots for us to kick ass and take some names. So let's get to work. You guys know the deal. Need the help by way of the thumbs up button. That's how we grow this thing. That's how we attract new eyeballs. And we've been slumping. We've been slacking. And we had 100 on one show. And we've been sitting around 60. So if you guys would please just take a second, close the chat, hit that thumbs up, then pop the chat back open and we'll get this thing started. Okay. Pen and paper time, boys and girls. The best in the business assemble here. They're ready to go there. Look at these plays are lining up. They're going to put their action in the chat. You're not going to want to miss out on these best bets. This chat is running hot. Just like Ramon Scott running so hot. Make sure you put your best bets in the chat. We'll pop off with commentator numero uno. It's going to be Jover. It's Jover, and he's looking at a first period over. And he's going Leafs and Kraken tonight, the first period over. You might not be aware of the monster under trend that the Kraken have going on, but he likes the full game fine. First period over for Jover. Kraken and Leafs. Shout out to you, Jover. And there's our guy, Gerald Jones, coming back through with us. 5-3 on his best bets. UMBC, first half -4. First half -4. Shout out to Redbeard. Blake M's in the house. Giving us Toronto in regulation. I rather like that play. Joe Dub. Kenny Wood. Robert McCormick. Barry's up in here. Says sports money is money. Shout out to Nicholas Handy. Joe says, what do you think about Hofstra? Gina from Hofstra. What do you think about her? You know that's what I think about when I think about Hofstra. Think about Gina from Hofstra. I don't think much about it, actually. I didn't really track my attention. Yeah. I'm not a big Northeastern fan. You know that. I'll keep an eye on some of these numbers as we scroll through it, Joe. I'll see if I can't illuminate something by way of the cash flow splits when we get there. Stop Geo says, let's get it tonight. Thanks for the show, Mike. Locked in on Derek White over 15.5 points. White's points in games with no Drew Holiday. 30-plus minutes. There we go. All right. You know what I look for. Give me minutes. Give me that opportunity where the books can't correlate or adjust, or they don't know how to adjust. Shout out to Stop Geo Engineer. There's Subhuman Gotcha says evening pre-gamers. Oldie says smash the like, you dogs. Bo Jackson telling me that they're I saw that guy's that. Yeah. Saturday. That'll be fun. Who do they play on Saturday? Who do they play on Saturday? Are they giving them the stat patter spot? Let's see. My internet has been running ultra slow. Oh, San Antonio. What? Oh, what? Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong spot. I'm Pacers. An afternoon game with the Pacers. What? All right. Stop Geo says through $5 on this DK NBA futures boost. Got the Lakers title at plus 2200. Not a huge fan of them. But look at Luka. Got to the finals with last season on the Mavs team. Yeah, that's not a bad look. Not a bad look. Let's go. Sneaky Ninja's here. He's ready to roll. Nasty Nate says, hit the like. You're going to have some bad dreams. Shout out to Gerardo Hernandez up in the house. Good to see you, Gerardo. PJ Hardy's here. Irish King's here. Boston Smash Body says. J-Main. William Cox is in the house. Can I upgrade to silver or gold on my phone? I can't find it. I don't know if you can do it from your phone. I don't know if you can do it from your phone or you have to do it from the laptop. I'm not sure. Nasty Nate grabbed the 155.5. I guess he's talking about that live bet. That live bet for NCAA back down to 151.5. You know, we live bet better than anybody. Fernando Mendoza giving the UNC Wilmington, Delaware over. I love that spot. I'm locked in on. Also, maybe it was you, Fernando Mendoza. The respected sharp bettor report came through. And they were on the over in that game. Trisha M. Looking for the Florida under. It's Thursday. Why not? Florida under? Shout out to Redbeard going out there. Says bunch of Pitch is not hitting the like button. Shut up. Trisha M says, sorry, is tomorrow pregame in the Super Bowl a special or another showtime? It's going to be another showtime. TBD. TBD. Bo Jackson says, I don't like the Maple Leafs tonight. Kraken are live. And there's our Toronto guy. He's from the 6. Damon Waring, giving everyone the shout out. Let's go. Sneaky Ninja says, I almost bet on the Kings against the Magic yesterday. Dodged a massive bullet. Kings versus Blazers look like an interesting game. Gerardo Hernandez says, Tatum, over 25.5 points. Porzingis, over 5.5 in the first quarter. I like the first quarter. That's probably the only spot I like first quarter bets. Some player props. Who was our guy who was cashing like crazy for us in those first quarters? Anyways. Dana Delp says you have to do it on your computer. Okay, that's what I thought. I know that question had been asked before. Gerardo likes Vegas at minus 117. Gerald Jones says, look ahead, college, Princeton minus 7 at Penn. Princeton will be on my card. Look at those overs, man. The overs in the Ivy League have been smashing and cashing. It's been ridiculous to see those numbers out there. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Shout out to Peter Gracia. Something like I'm already changed all my new passwords to Eagles. Trisha M says, I started to analyze the Super Bowl lines today, and the kicking points versus field goal are off versus total. I don't think they're going for a lot of field goals. I don't think so. I think they punch these things in. I think they do a lot of 2-pointers. We'll see. We'll see. I think they go for it quite a bit. Both these teams are very capable of exploding. Yep. Gerald Jones says hit the money sign near the bottom right. Okay. Blake M likes Columbus Blue Jackets money line. Nasty Nate, KP 2+3s, Pritchard 2+3s parlay. Okay. Damon Waring likes San Francisco on the money line. That's an interesting spot. I like those points. I think we're going to see more points. That's one of those spots that I was eyeing up. Jay Main says Siakam 20+ points, 7 straight games versus Clippers. His line at 19.5. It was 18.5. All right. Siakam's on the move. Okay. Let's get on the move. Let's move at a brisk pace here. Get some dinner. Get ready to come back and live stream. Razor sharp picks. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Excited. Nice card. I was hoping that game would have a little more oomph, but it's a TNT late nighter. It's a little later than we normally stream. Normally, I'm rushing from that 7:15 spot. I get an opportunity this time. Sit back a little bit, reflect on what I've done or what I haven't done, and move from there. So let's pop off Vegas Golden Knights and the New Jersey Devils. Aiden Hill was the first goaltender off the ice for the Vegas Golden Knights. It says he's likely. Let me refresh. But generally speaking, the first goalie off the ice is going to be the starter, and the backups just kind of stay out there to get a little more practice time and give the offensive personnel an opportunity to just work on some shooting drills and things like that. So, Aiden Hill comes in 19, 10, and 4. He's got a 2.69 goals against average and a 90% save percentage. Nico Dawes is the wild card in this game here. 1-0. 25 of 27 shots. That was his season debut. It was a 3-2 win over the Penguins. I believe it was on the Devils and the under in that spot there. So they'll go right back to him. So they're giving him the hot hand treatment for a guy that's coming in there making his second start on the season. In the AHL, though, he definitely had a battle amongst himself here. 5-14-1. Now, I could argue New Jersey's got all the talent, so the cupboards are pretty bare from that AHL perspective. It's almost like a San Jose Sharks situation that's going on out there. And they got the Knights coming in here struggling right now. 0-2-2 in their last 4 games. 4 straight losses is what that means. And the flip side of things, Devils are 4-2 in their last 6. How do we attack? Well, bottom line, we got to attack the vulnerability out here, which is the lack of scoring from both of these teams as it works out. Recent performances between these teams, not finding the twine. Struggling to get that puck by them goaltenders. And Probably more prevalent, I think, for Vegas right now than it is for, everyone knew that hot trend with Vegas Golden Knights in the first period over. But what we found now is New Jersey at home plays to the under. Vegas on the road, well, Vegas is 19-21 to the under. So they're split. They're kind of right down the middle. But again, slumping in their own right. They've got themselves 1, 3, 4 goals in the last 3 games. And they've been playing some doorknobs. Columbus, the Rangers, the Islanders. You're ballsy son of a bitch if you're going to go out there and play Vegas in this spot. But I'm going to take the under. When the Pacific Division plays the Metropolitan Division and the total is exactly 5.5, we are 6-16 to the under. New Jersey giving us an intersecting 0 opportunity when they've got less than 2 days rest, are a perfect 10-0 to the under on home ice. 10-0 to the under. And why does it intersect? Because Vegas finds themselves in a situation where I'll call it the frustration effect, or maybe it's the no heart effect. They're 7-0-1 to the under when they had less than 3 power plays and more than 31 shots on goal. Not getting the calls. Not going out there doing anything that's aggressive enough to warrant the other team tripping you to get you into the penalty box. Under 5.5 will be how we pop this card off in the NHL. Also, happens to be part of our favorite fade trends. the NHL's Red X. X goals. I'd like to pull a rabbit out of my hat. Doesn't mean I don't have a rabbit. I don't even have a hat. I don't understand sometimes the nonsense that we deal with in this industry, but it is what it is. We'll go on out to Utah Hockey Club and the Columbus Blue Jackets. And this is a tricky spot. Tricky spot because there are a bunch of injuries across this Columbus Blue Jackets squad. And it's got to be wearing down on them. The benefit, though, they got the Utah Hockey Club coming into town. And what do we know about the Utah Hockey Club? Well, they're not shooting. They're going to Connor Ingram. They did just get a 3-2 win over the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, that was Carl Vejmelka in net. Rumor is, we got 3 days till the Four Nations tournament for the NHL. Rumor is the Flyers are clearing cap space and trying to come up with something big. That's why they shuffled off Farabee and Frost to Calgary. And Danny Briere's got some magic up his sleeves. But Utah did pick up that 3-2 win against the Flyers. So things are bad in Philadelphia. That was when they were, those were the first 2 goals they got in 4 games, I think is what the situation was in that spot. So not great. Doesn't mean that they didn't get the W, but let's just kind of put it in frame of reference. And I mentioned the injuries. Zach Werenski is a big one out there for Columbus. He'll be out for the 2nd straight game. On the flip side, they're 0-2. But they're going to Merzlikins. He's 19-13-3, 2.96 goals against average, 89.4%. Stinks. Probably stinks more than the fact that the team in front of him stinks. You're only a reflection of who you got playing out there with you. And his recent performance over his last 8 games, he's on a buy side. He's got a 91.9% save percentage over that 8-game stretch. So you got an 89.4 on the season, a 92%, we'll call it, the last 8 games, means he's playing better than he started off the season. Utah does have some points. They are finding a way to, they're 1-1-2. But again, that win was the Flyers. So grain of salt, that puppy. But I'm looking at this one here and found a nice little compelling trend. It's ugly. You're going to have to close your nose and go on this one because it stinks. There's no reason to be taking the Columbus Blue Jackets. But when they're in the home dog role, they fire. They're 13-5 straight up in the home dog role, the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're also 8-0 to the under when they're a dog of less than a plus 190. Actually, I guess it's greater than a minus. Anyhow, forget the 2 negatives, make a positive in this case, just for easy purposes. Less than a plus 190, the score stays under. And on the flip side of things, this goaltender for Utah, 3.24 goals against average. He's allowed 3 or more goals in 7 of his last 8 road games. So we have the Columbus Jackets as a dog at home in a great play spot. When they're in the dog roll, they play to the under. And Utah's goalie's out there lighting it up like a fucking Christmas tree. Yeah, we're going to take Columbus Blue Jackets. That'll be play number 2 for the card. So Vegas under, Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm not sure about the total. You know, when the Columbus is in that home dog roll, they are 12-6 to the over. I would think you could probably get a good look at this Columbus Blue Jackets team total over 2.5. That's what I would think. I mean, you can catch Columbus +1. It's right around a -110 on top of that, but I think it's a good spot. You know, I think you got a couple things going on. One, I think you could same game parlay this thing if you want to really get some value out there. Take the +1.5 with Columbus. Take Merzlikins over 24.5 saves because we know Utah's not scoring. And then take Fantilli over 2.5 shots on goal. He's the only dude that's left on that offense to go generate any kind of production out there. That's probably not a bad little price tag as well. But that being said, that'll be game number 2. We will roll on to game number 3. We've got Carolina and Minnesota. This has got to be a knockdown, drag-out opportunity in this one here. And I know somebody's probably going to say, well, there's a, we'll see. We'll see what everybody says here. Let's see what you guys have to say. Let's see. Shout out to Blake M, though. He likes that Columbus spot with me. So I like that. Let's go. Let's go. Textiles in the house says, good day, sports money. Good day, Textiles. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Here we go. Got a little Mexican soccer action. Guadalajara and the Pumas. Guadalajara and the Pumas. You know I like some Mexican soccer. Sure. Let's go. Likes Columbus as well. I just think this is a tricky spot. I know the numbers are moving against. If you put -150 on Utah, you're a jerk. You take a road favorite like that against a team that plays well in the home dog roll? Not for me. No, sir. I know the line's moving, and typically in hockey, when we do see that kind of movement, because it is a sharper bet sport, you got to take some consideration behind it, but that's okay. Carolina, Minnesota they're going to pop off at 7:30. Every single person's on Ohio State. I'll tell you why. In a second. Carolina, Minnesota popping off in this one here. And guess what they got? They've got Frederick Anderson back. Not just back, but like he's made a couple of starts now. So he's like back. He's got his 9th start of the season, but he's 6-2 on the season as well. They needed this guy. He did struggle his last time out. He let up 4 goals on 26 shots. But look, it was a 4-2 loss to the Kings. And at the end of the day, he's still got a 91.3% save percentage. Not bad. Filip Gustafsson will be going on the Minnesota Wild side of things. Look, you can't win games if you don't shoot pucks. I don't care who's playing on the Carolina side. They've been outscored 9-0 in their last 2 games. They're hoping Gustafsson can be the guy who's allowed 6 goals on 52 shots in a 6-0 loss to the Ottawa Senators. You're not shooting, you're not scoring, and your goaltenders are getting lit up. That is essentially how I saw this number. Again, I don't care who's playing for Carolina. This is just a fade out spot. You know, we talk about Columbus in the home dog roll, 13-5. How about when Minnesota's in the home dog roll? They're 3-18. They're 0-10 in their last 10 in that spot. Away teams have been dominant. This is a pricey tag. The margin of victory is over 1 goal a game, so that suggests that we probably don't see an overtime in this thing. Probably a lower scoring game because, well, look, we're just not seeing any goals from this Minnesota Wild team right now. Rantanen obviously getting over there, boosting some life into that offense on the Carolina side of things. Hall as well. I expect Carolina to win this game. I expect Carolina to win this game in regulation, and I got the regulation play at a really reasonable price tag. Carolina regulation was minus 106. Minus 106. Now, my philosophy when it comes to the +1, -1. Yeah, I like to see that. It's not my philosophy, I guess, right? The +1, -1 puts you into the opportunity for overtime for a push, but I don't expect a team that's not playing well at home, that's not scoring pucks, and having a goaltender that's not going out there saving the puck as well, to go out there and figure out how it gets done. So that's the way I want to approach that game. That's how we want to get her done. Shout out to Dana Dell. So sports money is money. Chucko23 says, Gambling Gods love Lakers under 115 team total. I'm on a huge. Wait. We want to wait. We want to wait on that game. It's an under. Sorry, Irish King. We want to wait. We want to wait because it's going over. It's ticking. We're going to get 223.5s. That's a different story. That's a different story for a different day. The last game in the NHL we're going to cover, the Vancouver Canucks, the San Jose Sharks. Yeah. Sharks are that team. They're that puck line team. The challenge that they've got is there's been a lot of movement with the Canucks. Trading JT Miller, Philip Scheidel, Philippe. He's got to be on fire. They put this guy on the second forward line. He's on the first power play unit. Expect him to shoot the puck, especially against a team like the San Jose Sharks, who allows 70 shots on goal in a 60-minute stretch. They're allowing a goal a shot in a shot a minute in 5-on-5 situations. Second worst in the NHL. That's why I talk about Blackwood, Mackenzie Blackwood's record. And it's like, you can't talk about his goals and assists his goals against average and his save percentage, because he's got a team that's letting pucks fly out there. So the goals against average, the save percentage is probably a more accurate reflection, but goals against average without any backbone from that San Jose Sharks team is a difficult situation. When it comes to the pipes, speaking of Mackenzie Blackwood, going out there against Dustin Wolf tonight, but you got Thatcher Demko and Vitek Vanacek. Now, Thatcher had a phenomenal game his last start, for sure. Vanacek will start his first game since December 14th. These are spots that we target and pounce. What are we pouncing? We're pouncing goals. We're pouncing on the fact that this guy hasn't seen the speed and tempo of the NHL in over 2 months. Well, almost 2 months, right? December 14th. 8 days away from being February 14th. He did go out there against the AHL for a conditioning stint, as they call it. He had a 91.7% save percentage. He did get the win. What are we going to do? We're going to see Vancouver get surprised and snuck in this game. Highly, highly, highly unlikely. They just shut down the Colorado Avalanche. 3-0 W. We're going to go to the Jover on this side of things here. We're going to go with an over. Vancouver, when they play teams that have less than 3 days of rest, the over is firing. They take advantage of tired legs. Now, Vancouver with Thatcher Demko strikes me a little bit as an under squad. However, 22-9-1 when they play that situation of a team that's got just kind of an average rest stint. It's 9-0-1 in its last 10 to the over on top of that. New life, new players, new excitement with this Vancouver team. They shook some things up, shook some things loose. They're finding the results, beating the best in Colorado. And a huge step down in class here. Thatcher's going to put these guys on notice. I kind of like Vancouver's team total over as well. I mean, the situation, yeah, Blake Ems's Vancouver Canucks game over 5.5 is the play. Absolutely. A little juicy at minus 120, but it is what it is. That's got to be how we do it. It's got to be the way we attack it. That North Carolina A&T Charleston game total is down to 144.5. I mean, 11 points on the live spot. 11 points on the live spot out there. Let's go. Yeah, you guys talked about it. There are a lot of people humping up on this game. A lot of people love this Ohio. I'll tell you why. It's the revenge bounce back at home situation. It's classic. 77% of the bets, though, are on Maryland. Only 57% of the cash. That means there is a 20% differential of respected dollars coming in on Ohio State. Respected dollars. Now, that doesn't mean, we always talk about the percentage of bets being associated with or attributed to the public, the parlays, the teasers. It's the soup. It's everything that kind of goes into this thing. Every ticket that's been written. There's been almost 23,000 tickets written on this game. One of the highest bet tonight in college hoops. But only 57% of the cash. So the bigger bettors, the guys coming in with that backpack stacked with ones with a big rubber band around it, are saying, hey, give me Ohio State. The line did move from -1.5 to 2. So there has been a little bit of movement. I think it's come back a little too. Here's the thing. How many people on Maryland that are sitting there going, 2 points, I'll just take them to win outright? Well, respected bettors are. That's 13% of the bets on the money line for Maryland. It's gone to 77% of the cash on Maryland. And what have the books done? They said, we see you. We love your money. In fact, if you liked it at +105, you got to love it at +112. They're begging you to take Maryland tonight. Begging you. This total's gone up from 146.5 to 148. I think that's a little too high. 70% of the bets and 70% of the cash on the under. It's gone up. Certainly a challenge, to say the least. But it's a bounce back spot. What's the bounce back spot? Well, you just lost at Illinois, 79-87. Heartbreaking 8-point beat on a 6.5-point spread. Prior to that, though, they did cover 3. They went out and had that huge win, 19 points against Penn State. So that Illinois spot was a letdown. But it was a look-ahead letdown in regards that they just had a big win as a dog against Penn State, who, has kind of shown that they can shit the bed as of late. But nonetheless, they won by almost 20 points. Then they have a second road game against the Illini, who shit the bed last night. Again, with that Wake Forest game, I believe, coming up. Wake Forest had a big win last night. They lose 87-79. If they hadn't won that game, but such a dominating fashion against Penn State, that line probably would have been an 8 or a 9 against Illinois on the road, and they would have covered. So you're buying low on Ohio State, plus the revenge factor. They got busted up by Maryland when they played them just over a month ago. And you got this Maryland team trotting in here on a high. 4 straight wins under their belt. They had Illinois and Indiana on the road. They beat them up both. Then they torched Wisconsin at home, 76-68. And they haven't played in over a week. So you got a rusty, rested Maryland team trotting in here on a high. Only covered 2 of their last 5 spreads. So now you got a revenge, a bounce back, a rest factor, and a buy high and a buy low and a sell high situation. For all of those aforementioned reasons, I'm on Ohio State's money line. It's probably not a good sign that just as I said that, my boy messaged me and said Maryland. But I don't care. We're sitting here at this number. I know it's bad when everyone's on it. I got it. But not everyone's on it. In fact, the public hammering that Maryland side. Fernando says he thinks it goes over. That's just him. Irish King says Minnesota smash spot. I don't think so. We'll see. Juggler says the whole world's on and beware. The whole world's not, though. 70 said the whole world's on Maryland. +2. All of Twitter. Now, that's an important distinction. That's a very important distinction. That'll be a fun game to check out, though. A little 7 p.m. action. I'm on Ohio State. I'm with the whole world, I guess. And I got... You can see all my action will be tracked here at BetStamp. Mikey Money. I got a -130, so Probably just a little bit of this line coming down now. It feels like 5 o'clock's the worst time to be putting in bets because you're not catching the full movement. By 6 o'clock, they're moving. I just got to get them in before the show starts. All right. We'll go down here to this next game, La Tech and Liberty. A little bit of a later start down the line as well. There's a bunch of games I really like here. Temple, South Florida. I was looking at that over. Just kind of rapid fire for some of you guys that are interested in knowing. Fairfield at 6.5 against Marist. I took that. Something that I thought was a good spot there. I got to fade my William and Mary, the green and gold. I went Drexel. I was looking at Drexel in that game. Just rapid fire for, there's a parlay booster out there for anybody that's inclined on the DraftKings side of things. So I'll share that with you. I do like the over in Youngstown State in Oakland. I would fade the shit out of Canisius, especially. I mean, look, they're 17.5-point dogs for a reason. Oh, and then the Merrimack Niagara spot was almost added to the card. We got a perfect 12-0 trend to the under in that Niagara Merrimack game on the Merrimack side of the house. So just something I'm sharing with you guys here. If you are interested in picking up some of that extra action, I thought that was a decent looking spot. I mean, it's a low number. We're sitting there and open at 127.5. It's gone down to 126.5, and the money's coming in on the over. So you do have that reverse line movement for what it's worth. As we continue to roll, all right. So the question was Hofstra and Northeastern. You have reverse line movement against Hofstra. Gina and Hofstra are reverse line movement. It's gone from 4.5 to 3.5. You have 83% of the bets and 81% of the cash. The total's on the climb. If it's going to go over, we associate those with dogs, and you've got the reverse line movement showing the dog. So it's probably just quick, the money line's dropping as well. So it's went from minus 182 to minus 165. You got 92% of the bets and 99% of the cash. Tailing Gina from Hofstra. And the reality is it looks like it's a Northeastern spot. So for what it's worth, just a quick little assessment and read of the line. I like St. Francis. I was looking at them boys. When I say I like these teams, I did do the parlay. I did combo crunch a whole bunch of them in there. All right, so Liberty and La Tech pop off at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have reverse line movement alert 7. Excuse me. There's a lot of sevens across the board there. 73% of the bets, 77% of the cash. The line opened at 7.5. There's a lot of sevens there on this La Tech side of things, the road dog. What's the line do? It's gone to 8. The line has moved. Now it's 8 with small vig, so you could argue it's kind of shading a slight bit to the over or to the home team. And that makes sense. We'll talk about it. 134.5 is the back number. And that really hasn't done anything. You can get 133.5, so you can get 134.5. So you like the over? Catch the 133.5. If you like the under, catch the 134.5. You have 75% of the bets, 74% of the cash. And a battle. This will be a battle, too. I mean, this is going to look, these two teams, 16-6 in La Tech, Liberty on the other side of things, but they both are just kind of middle of the road in conference play. This is a big game, though. Big game from the regards that it is nationally televised. It'll be on CBS Sportsnet. Lynchburg, man, I'll tell you where the home advantage for a squad in Liberty is the real deal. They're 6-3 against the spread at home. They're covering. They're a spread machine. They're 7-3 on the road. They just cover. I don't care where they are. La Tech, when they're away, are 4-5. They are 4-1 in the underdog role, La Tech. But over 20 games, they've only been a dog 5 times. So is this the spot where it's too many points? Well, at home, we see the total for Liberty's 4-5 to the under. And we see La Tech is 3-6 to the under. So if we're going to get unders, we got to start looking at favorites. Liberty just coming off that loss on the road. In fact, they had 3 straight road games. They lost to Jacksonville State 72-61. But I think they were just probably a little bit tired there. They did beat New Mexico State, one of the worst teams in college basketball, 68-60. Then they go on the road. They take down Florida International. And when I say take down, it was a blood. They took their cheerleaders home with them. 82-59 in that game at FIU. They play Kennesaw State. They win that game 76-68. Then they get that third road game against Jacksonville State, and they take the L, 72-61. And La Tech's been win. They got 3 W's in a row. I got 3 covers in a row. And that's not the time you want to be taking a spot in La Tech with these two teams that are middle of the pack. So you got middle of the pack, even records in conference, and yet you got a big spread, a wide number from 7.5 to 8. They're telling you it's a home team position in this case. When I mentioned the home court on top of that, look, the home team, it's La Tech that stinks on the road. La Tech doesn't cover, and that's why this number is showing the 7.5s and the 8s. The home team has won 12 in a row in La Tech games out there. Now I know that that's money lines, but they just don't travel well. And if you want the validation, they were 2-point favorite at Kennesaw. They lost 78-76. They were 3.5-point favorites at Jacksonville State. They lost 63-61. So they're just not coming. They're not converting to a road team. They peaked a little too early, in my opinion. They just beat up some bottom feeders in the conference in Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee was one of my favorite teams a couple of years ago because they covered a shitload of spreads. They stink now. They stink. Stinky. Poop. Stink. So I'm going to take a little Liberty action. I laid this. What number did I get? 7.5. How about that? Got a bunch more college basketball action. Like you said, I'm just trying to wait for some of these lines to kind of materialize for us. I don't want to, I think I lost 3 games by the fucking hook yesterday. Just got to wait a little bit longer. We just need some patience. All we need is patience. All right. This is a double dipper. Getting into the Houston Rockets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And ironically, I mentioned it's not ironic that we had the NBA sweep last night. That's probably not the proper terminology. I do like the over in that Celtics game, by the way. For you guys that are interested, 63% of the bets and 68% of the cash, I've hit the Celtics. Line's going down. It's going the opposite way. The total has moved up to 232.5 with 74% of the bets and 75% of the cash on it. I think that's the right move. We have 57% of the bets and 52% of the cash on the Timberwolves. Line hasn't moved. 215.5 is the back number. It's dropped to 214.5 and even some 214s with 82% of the bets and 81% of the cash on the over. It's gone to the under. Oops. Yeah. Double check that. I had a short circuit there. I had to double check and see what the hell was going on. All right. There's a couple things that we can talk about with this game here. First of all, look, last night we laid those points because, it was a perfect spot. You had the Timberwolves coming off that loss to the Sacramento Kings at home. The Bulls coming off that big win, rolling in on the road after the big win spot. And the Timberwolves laying in 11.5. They were telling you it was a Timberwolves spot. As bad as the Timberwolves are at home, we talked about how they're one of the worst teams at home. On the flip side, one of the best teams on the road are the Houston Rockets, and they've lost 2 in a row, but they did cover. They're 1-1 on the covers. In fact, they covered 2 of their last 3 road games. They've had a gauntlet of a schedule. 5 of their last 6, I believe, have been on the road. They had one little stop at home. It was Brooklyn Nets. And they lost to the Brooklyn Nets 110-98 as a 13-point favorite. Worth noting in that spot. Steven Adams is out. Jabari Smith's still out. Julius Randle's out. Dante DiVincenzo's out. Terrence Shannon. Big man, Terrence Shannon. Talk about the Big Ten. He's questionable. Big man got a bad foot. That's what it comes down to. I don't think it's a diabetic foot. I just think it's a bad foot. I think he fell down. He had a questionable situation with the foot itself. So that being said, he's a big man, of course. But look, they're gifting you this Houston Rockets spot, in my estimation. It's the second leg of a back-to-back. Small home spots yesterday picking up the win. 4 of the 11 games had the home team win. And Minnesota was one of them. They busted them up. But Rockets come in rested. Despite being a phenomenal road team, they did catch a couple of fallbacks. They did catch a couple of losses, ultimately, is what it comes down to. You got tired legs across the board for the Minnesota side of things here. And you got a Rockets team that's desperate for a win with a 4-game losing streak. They're just a half a game ahead of the Nuggets for third in the West. And they got to get it. They got to plug the gap. The thing is, when you look at this one here, probably could alternate line this thing. They're tired in Minnesota. They're bad at home in Minnesota. The Rockets allow just 108 points a game. I think Minnesota's going to struggle to get to triple digits. I think Houston gets back on the winning streak here. I took Houston in the first half, and I took Houston in the full game. That's how confident I am that Houston comes out there and rights the wrong. All that money coming in on the home favorite. They're just a 1-point favorite off of an 11.5-er. Yeah, we'll take her. Feel pretty darn good about it. Shout out to Nunya. Rick J. This Houston spot. Yep. Yeah, Sneaky Ninja says Timberwolves scoring's all on Edwards' shoulders. And he's tired. Them shoulders are tired. They're going to be a little slouchy shoulder. Little slouchy shoulders. This Minnesota team. We'll see. We'll see how that one fares out. But I took the first half in the full game. I took the first half money line. I took the full game +1. Again, the nickel calculation worked out to be about even. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take the +1. I don't think you need it. I just didn't see the value on, I get it. The ROI is bigger for sure. I get that. But look, even money at +1 or +106. So when I say the nickel calculation, even money for +1, for every half a point, it's a nickel. +1 at even money, +106. Let's just call it a nickel. That means it should be a half a point. Should be a half a point. Or what this really should be is +110. And it's not. They're shortcutting you by 4 cents. So you take the +1 at even money. And you feel pretty fucking good about it on top of that. And the first half was in play. First half spot, because I love the Rockets in this spot so triumphantly. Actually, I got 1.5 at -118. But either way, I think they win this game. And I took the first half, just the money line in the first half. I didn't want the +0.5 in the first half. That's a spot where I thought I could keep the vig down a little bit, because if it's a tie, well, then I'm just going to roll that first half money back into the full game as well. So I got 2 units on that game, 1 on the first half, 1 on the full game +1.5. And if they lose, then the first half at the +0.5, then I'd rather not swallow that vig. And if I'm expecting them to win, and at worst case, it's the tie. And if that's the tie, then that unit that I put on the first half will get doubled down into that second half live for Houston. Strategically, the way I chose to approach that game. The Kings and the Blazers, look, you got to take the Blazers. They're running hot. You got to take them until you don't. And they got the Kings. Now, 81% of the bets and 80% of the cash are on the Blazers. 10 p.m. start. Totals climbing. 89% of the bets, 90% of the cash are on the over. It's gone from 229.5 to 230.5. Climbing. When it goes over, we like dogs. We got a home dog in Portland, and they've been running hot. It's just not, there's not much more than just kind of continuing to ride the wave. Now, I told you guys yesterday, I wasn't taking the the Chicago Blackhawks first period over. Because first of all, everyone's talking about it, and it was too late at that point. I only caught it twice, I think, in the whole stretch. And I wasn't going out there to try to chase something cute like that. But damn, the Blazers have been firing, and we've been cashing with them. So there's no reason to turn back the train now. You got 1 and 3 in the last 4 Sacramento Kings game. They just had a shit ton. This is the great optimum situation from a bad schedule spot. A shit ton of road games. They got the one sneaker back home against Orlando, and they fire right back out on the road. That is the Sacramento Kings. Those are the spots that we want to pounce on. On top of that, they're smashing. The Kings got to be exhausted. back-to-back, second leg of the back-to-back. That game for the Kings ended at about 1 a.m. last night, 1 a.m. Eastern. Late. And they had to travel. And they were in that shit travel spot. I don't know what else you need to hear. Portland's certainly been running red hot. 5 straight wins, 9 of their last 10. 4 games behind 8th place in the West. Who would have thought they had 0 home court advantage to start the season? Now they're finding their way. Looking for them to claw their way on through this thing. And the Kings, this is probably it's probably a parallel move for the Kings, and meaning that they're playing in a bad division. And since Portland's not great, it's kind of just average. Portland looking to get their number 6 in a row. I parlayed as well, a little sprinkle parlay action on the Houston-Portland money lines. Although they're not really glorious. It was sitting around almost 3-1 when I got them earlier. But I like both these teams to win. I think we stay riding the hot hand and we move on to this last game and we'll get her shut down right at 7 o'clock on the dot. How about that? The Pacers and the Clippers will pop off. And not only will they pop off, but we had a huge letdown spot for the Clippers. They were 8.5-point favorites in the Battle of LA. They lost by 25 or so, 26 points. They got busted up. 82% of the bets and 80% of the cash are on the Pacers. It's gone from 3 to 5. So you have reverse line movement. You got a little overcookage here. 93% of the bets and 90% of the cash are on the over. It's gone from 228.5 to 229.5. I did see the respected bettor report there, the sharp bettor report, did come in and show that the over was taking some respected bettor cash. Fundamentally, though, I have a tough time pulling that trigger. I'm an under guy with the Clippers. And I get it when you look at the Pacers. The difference for the Pacers, though, they're 14-8 to the over at home. They're 13-14 on the road. So they like to run pace at home, but they slow down a little bit when they're on the road. And the Clippers are 11-15 to the under at home, 9-14 to the under on the road. They're just an under team, 20-29-1. Not a huge margin, but the Clippers do win in the favorite role. I mentioned the blowout, 122-97. They didn't even get to 100. Pacers just played Portland and dealt the L. They had Utah. They won. Pacers did have a nice little win streak going, but they took that L, and you got back-to-back L's for the Clippers. The Clippers' L against Toronto was expected. We were on Toronto. Not the Lakers. I was expecting them to bounce back, but this is the bounce-back spot for them. When it comes to the Clippers, I say it so confident. I mean, we'll have to see what happens, right? But just when it comes down to it, yeah, they got busted up, and that's the big factor. When I say this has to be the bounce-back spot, 25-point or worse lost teams that were an 8-point favorite or more bounce back over 71% of the time. That's it. They got busted up. They were 8.5-point favorites. They lost by over 25. Well, they lost by 25. And those teams fire back the next game after getting embarrassed. 71% of the time they pick up the W. And why not go right back to our guy? Why not go back to Kawhi? He's auditioning. He's auditioning for the starting 5. Normally his rebound number is 4.5. They have started to move this up to 5.5. He dominated it for us the other night. Lots of rebounds allowed in that Pacers side of the house. I think it's going to be a good game. It should be fun to see. It should be a great opportunity for these boys to bounce back, and we get to buy low with the Clippers because of the putrid performance that they had out there against them Lakers in the Battle of LA. They let the Lakers come in and eat their lunch. I think they see them bounce back. That's how we shut her down. Put the bow on the show. Appreciate everybody coming in here, hanging out with us. Make sure you smash that thumbs up on the way out the door and get ready for the big live stream tonight. Look, just a couple more days, a couple more sleeps till we go celebrate an Eagles Super Bowl victory. And on top of that, we got a big show tonight, live stream. Tomorrow night, we'll do pre-gaming. Then we'll have a Super Bowl special. Super Bowl special. Saturday, we got the Ramon Scott show in the morning. We've got the big UFC 312 pay-per-view event down under. That'll start with us at 5:30 Eastern, all leading up to the big game, the big one that make that cash for us there. 6 p.m. will be the Super Bowl. We'll be rocking. We'll be rolling. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Again, smash that thumbs up. Good luck with your bets. Shout out to anybody checking us out from Kick. And we'll be live on Kick tonight. So you know what that means. We're going to be kicking this game live together. Everyone's going to be watching it at the same time. It should be a lot.